Welcome back, my beautiful souls, to Tales from Beyond, where stories of ancestral wisdom, justice, and warnings come alive. Tonight, I'm bringing you a tale about a tree, a towering, ancient guardian in the heart of a dark forest. This isn't just any tree, though. Its bark holds carvings left by generations before us, warnings etched deep to keep danger at bay. But what happens when someone ignores those warnings? Tonight's story is about family secrets, curiosity, and the cost of disturbing what was meant to stay bound. So, get comfortable, loves, and let's begin. Joseph hadn't been back to the old family farmhouse in years, not since he was a boy. But now, as the new owner, he felt a mix of obligation and curiosity pulling him back. The house had been left to him by his grandmother, a stern but loving woman who'd always told him to respect the land and its secrets. The farmhouse sat at the edge of a dense forest. As a child, Joseph had often played in the woods, but there was one part of the forest he'd never dared venture into, an area his grandmother had warned him about. "There's a tree in those woods," she'd said, marked with signs older than memory. "It holds things better, left undisturbed." But Joseph was a skeptic. He dismissed the stories as nothing more than folklore meant to keep curious children in line. On his first day back, while cleaning out the house, Joseph found an old photo tucked into one of the kitchen drawers. It showed his grandmother standing by a massive tree, its bark covered in strange, jagged carvings. The tree's dark, gnarled branches seemed to reach toward the sky like claws. Something about the image tugged at him. He couldn't shake the urge to see the tree for himself. The next morning, armed with a flashlight and sturdy boots, Joseph ventured into the woods. The forest was quiet, the kind of silence that pressed down on you, heavy and unnatural. As he pushed deeper, he noticed the trees growing darker, their trunks twisted as if bent by an unseen force. Then he saw it. The tree towered above the others, its bark blackened and scarred with carvings that spiraled upward. Some symbols looked like letters, others like runes, but all of them pulsed faintly in the dim light, as if alive. Joseph reached out, his fingers brushing the bark. A jolt ran through him, sharp and electric, making him stumble back. The air seemed to shift around him, growing colder. That night, Joseph dreamed of the tree. In his dream, the carvings glowed, and a voice called out to him, not in words, but in feelings, emotions that pressed into his chest like a weight. He woke in a sweat, his heart pounding. The next morning, he noticed something strange, a faint symbol etched into the skin of his forearm. It was jagged and crude, just like the carvings on the tree. He tried to scrub it off, but it wouldn't budge. By the third night, the dreams became more vivid. He saw shadows moving through the forest, circling the tree, their forms twisting and writhing. The voice grew louder, demanding, insistent. "Release me." Desperate for answers, Joseph called Miss Etta, an elderly neighbor who'd lived in the area her whole life. When she arrived, she took one look at the mark on his arm and gasped. "You went to the marked tree, didn't you?" Joseph nodded, his stomach sinking. Miss Etta sat down heavily, her face grim. "That tree isn't just any tree. It's a binding tree. Your ancestors put something there. Something dark, something dangerous. The carvings are seals, meant to keep it locked away. And now, you've disturbed it." Joseph's mind raced. "What can I do? How do I fix this?" Miss Etta shook her head. "You've been marked. It'll come for you now. The only chance you have is to perform the ritual again to restore the seals. That night, Miss Etta and Joseph ventured back into the forest, carrying candles, salt, and herbs she'd prepared. The woods seemed to come alive as they approached the tree. Branches creaked, shadows shifted, and the air grew thick with tension. Miss Etta began the ritual, chanting words Joseph didn't understand. The carvings on the tree began to glow, brighter and brighter as the ground trembled beneath them. A low, guttural growl echoed through the forest, followed by a voice that chilled Joseph to the bone. "You cannot bind me again." The wind howled, and a shadowy figure began to form around the tree, its shape flickering like smoke. Miss Etta's chants grew louder, more urgent, as she poured a circle of salt around the tree. With a final thunderous word, the light from the carvings flared, blinding Joseph. When it faded, the forest fell silent. Joseph sold the farmhouse soon after, leaving the land and its secrets behind. But he never forgot Miss Etta's parting words. The seals hold, for now, but the land remembers, and the spirits won't forget. Ah, my beautiful souls, the past has a way of reminding us to tread carefully, especially when it comes to the things our ancestors left behind. That tree wasn't just a piece of the forest. It was a guardian, a warning, and a testament to the power of those who came before us. So, the next time you see a mark carved into wood or stone, take a moment to wonder, is it a story waiting to be told, or a warning meant to keep you safe? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and as always, stay rooted.